More proof that the news media doesn't report news anymore. They just push an agenda.
Kara, I want you to talk to me about the power dynamic behind COVID disinformation. Who is benefiting from this? Who's making money from these conspiracies, and whose fears is it that are being exploited?
A new report says about 65% of all the misinformation online about vaccines is coming from 12 anti-vaccine social media accounts. The Center for Countering Digital Hate.
You see us all walking around. You see people who have been vaccinated walking around. We're not walking around with 2 heads or 5 tails. We're walking around like everybody else. Either you believe them and take your life in your hands, because at some point, people like me are just going to go, look, you don't want to hear it? I'm not going to tell you anymore because you don't want to listen. We've said it.
Remember 2021? Remember when asking questions about where a virus came from, you got banished from social media? That's right. Even YouTube got in on the act.
YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
Well, the company is taking down anti-vaccine videos and banning major accounts because it says it needs to, quote, remove egregious, harmful content. NBC.
Remember when doubting a government mandate meant you were crucified by the mainstream media? See, if you didn't swallow the official narrative whole, you weren't just wrong, you were labeled a crazy, dangerous conspiracy theorist. The media told us to trust the science. They told us the experts were infallible. But flash forward to today. That's right. And the silence from those same newsrooms is absolutely deafening. The core issue? The Fauci hearing. Let's talk about what just happened on Capitol Hill. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the face of the entire pandemic response, was subpoenaed to testify before a Senate committee chaired by Rand Paul. Lawmakers wanted answers on the true origins of the COVID-19 and pandemic era decisions. That's right, who was behind making all these decisions? But instead of answers, we got an historic stonewalling.
The advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution to refrain from answering your questions. Thank you.
Dr. Fauci invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination more than 100 times. 111, to be exact. He refused to answer questions about virus origins, emails, and public guidance. He even pled the fifth when asked questions about what color tie he was wearing. So, yeah, he was deep into not saying anything. And here's the kicker. Fauci is already holding a full, preemptive federal pardon. Before former President Biden, that's right, Sleepy Joe, before he left office, he granted Fauci a sweeping pardon, protecting him from federal prosecution for his actions, anything he did between 2014 and 2025. So, if you're already pardoned and you still plead the fifth over 100 times to protect yourself from self-incrimination, I don't know. Sounds guilty to me. What do you think? But you know what's just as crazy or even crazier than a pardoned health official refusing to talk to Congress? The media response, or the lack thereof. Crickets. Not a peep. All the people that crucified everybody for this, that, and that, and called everybody crazy conspiracy theorists, are they saying anything about Fauci shutting up and exactly. During the pandemic, CNN, MSNBC, and of course those cackling hens of The View spent hours every single day lecturing the public. They tracked down anyone who stepped out of line. But when the man who ran the response pleads the fifth 111 times, Not a peep. Not a peep. Barely a mention. No outrage. No panel segments demanding transparency. No breaking news alerts. No anything. Just crickets. And you can bet your sweet ass if a prominent figure from the opposite political side got a preemptive pardon and then took the fifth 100 times at a congressional hearing, it would be wall-to-wall coverage for a straight month. Non-stop, that's all you would hear about, and they would be calling people names and pointing fingers. It would be called a constitutional crisis. But for Fauci, again, crickets. Well, so what's the takeaway? This isn't about the pandemic anymore. This is proof of how the modern media machine actually operates. These legacy outlets don't exist to report the objective news or hold the powerful accountable. They exist merely to push an agenda, protect their chosen narratives, and shield their preferred figures. But when the narrative flips or when the truth gets uncomfortable, they don't correct the record. They don't speak up. They just stop talking and, maybe they'll just go away because you guys will forget about it, right? Because the news cycle, something else will pop up and you'll forget all about it. At least that's what they hope. But no. We didn't forget, did we? Did we forget? No, we didn't forget. What do you think about Fauci taking the fifth 111 times? And what does the media's silence tell you about who they really serve? Are they here to actually broadcast or report the news? Drop me a comment below. You guys know how to do it. And remember, you don't have to agree with me. That's never the point here. The point is, this is Blind Views, and that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.